There was one story in your book that kind of intrigued me. You were talking about how you needed to change your style of worship, having been very informal in London. But when you moved to Turkey, you needed to have much more kind of formality in dress and, showing respect to the people. And can you just go into that? Because I think that's a lovely cameo of what, high context, low context, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, to use your phrase, English culture, or particularly London culture, would be quite low context. So in other words, the words that you say, the content in church is really important, but the environment hasn't been so important. So we met in a dirty school hall. People could, jeans with rips in them, or shorts and flip-flops or whatever. And for the most part, people didn't mind about the environment. They just were focused on the content. Certainly Turkey is quite a high context culture. Whereas if you put a Turk in a space like that, they would be so distracted or impacted by the environment. The room's dirty. Why can't I see your toes? Why is your shirt untucked? So that would create so much static that they wouldn't actually be able to hear the important message about Jesus that you are offering. And so what we learned was that for Turks, the medium is the message. And you can't separate the kind of the context that you're creating from the important. So if you're saying something important, you have to dress importantly, and you have to have
a little bit of distance, presumably, with the, if you're going to be preaching from God's word, you need to, not be too casual about it.
Absolutely. And so, for example, the venue that we were meeting in as a church when we first started probably reflected more our London way of thinking. And as people came to faith with us, and we were always saying, look, this is your church, we're church together. Some of the Turkish guys started going, well, if can we do something about this venue, please? So we were like, well, sort it out. It's your church. So Turkish guys took a bit of budget and did some work on the venue. We came back and looked at it, and it was completely, we had dim lighting, a thick carpet, a big cross on the wall, silver trays for the Lord's Supper, a picture of Jesus on the wall, so just completely different. And the Turkish guys were like, now this feels like a church. Now I feel spiritual. Now I can invite my friends here. And just found that it really, really mattered. So I started polishing my shoes and wearing a tie, and, just completely different world for me. But that is, I think, like you say, Christine, it's a great illustration of the difference between a low context culture and a high context culture. And it isn't that one's right and one's wrong. It's that different cultures respond to context differently.
Exactly.